Hello everyone, welcome to Talk a Good Game. It's just finished. Derby County 0, West Ham United 2. The Hammers are into the 5th round of the FA Cup, where a tie at Old Trafford awaits them. Gonzo, I enjoyed that.
It was a decent game, I've got to say. Yeah, it was all right, wasn't it? There was
a bit of fun. I was enjoying it. It was nice.
Yeah. Any particular bits aside from the goals?
Yeah, we'll get on to them, actually. I think it's just the fact that, well, to be fair, I mean, after 10 minutes, we were 1-0 up.
Yeah.
Good goal, though, I thought, from Jarrod Bowen. Not just Jarrod Bowen himself. The team build up the play, it gets... Yeah. Antonio has a shot, gets blocked. Downs heads it down to Souček, gives it to Antonio, flicks over the top, and then Bowen leaves it for Souček, who puts his head in a place where he could easily get hurt, flicks it down to Bowen, knocks it past the goalkeeper. I mean, 10 minutes in, we were 1-0 up.
Yeah, so much to admire in that goal, as you say, in terms of the technique. I love the little flicked header from Downs. That was really neat as well. And the really cute touch from Antonio, wasn't it? And I think really just great awareness from Souček and from Bowen to take up that striker's position, which he's definitely got a new nose for that, I would say a new nose. It's probably the same nose he's already had, but he seems to be sniffing out those opportunities and those sort of poachers' positions, doesn't he? And I think he took it really well. I think the best thing you can say about Bowen is I don't even think he's going to miss when he's in that situation now. And let's be fair, we've had plenty of players, and probably still have some now, who possibly could miss in that situation. So, yeah, it was really decent goal.
What did you make of the first half? Went in 1-0 up, but what did you make of the opening 45?
Well, Tilo Kehrer frightened the life out of me. It's just awful. Yeah, what can you say? Could have been one goal down after about a minute. Just put that out there in case anybody's watching a review and hasn't seen the game. Absolutely terrified. Fortunately, my sofa's pushed up against the wall. If it wasn't, I'd have been behind the sofa. And then he gave the ball away. Anyway, so that's the negative part of it. By and large, at first half, Areola had nothing to do, but it was just, it's Kehrer. Kehrer really likes Areola. He's trying to keep him busy, trying to give him something to do. What I loved was the way Flynn Downs was winning the ball early in midfield, created 2 chances straight away. Won the ball early. The tackle, it's that thing we talk about Declan Rice, not just win the tackle and then win the ball as well, and then come away with the pass or whatever, or direct the tackle in such a way that it goes to a teammate. His tackle created an opportunity for Antonio, which he shot wide. Wasn't the best shot in the world. And then 5 minutes later, he did exactly the same move and created an opportunity for Bowen. So I loved seeing that as well. You could see Antonio was up for it as well, mate. Antonio was... Well, listen, I know, people will say, it's just League One, and I understand that, but even taking that all into account, Antonio looked very sharp and very up for it today. And Souček was winning good tackles immediately as well. So I thought it really controlled the midfield. Antonio was playing well, and it boded quite well.
It was more comfortable than I expected. Derby were a lot lesser than I thought. I thought they were going to be a bit better than that, to be honest with you. But it was a really comfortable first 45 from us. We got the goal, like I said, well-worked goal from then on, but Areola barely had anything to do. We didn't create too much else in the first half, but I felt we kept them at arm's length, and it was very... a professional performance from us, but that's exactly what we needed. I think there was 2 players that stood out for me in the first 45, and that was Souček and Bowen. And there was 2 players that worried me in the first 45. Well, I say worried me. One player did. That was Ben Johnson. Kehrer a little bit, but I thought Ben Johnson was awful in the first half. Fornals, I wanted to see a bit more of. Don't think he was getting in the game as much as I would have liked to have done in the first half. But overall, I was pretty happy because this was a game that was... Well, it made me really nervous. I was really worried going into this one. It had banana skin written all over it. So at halftime, we were pretty comfortable. I thought, this is all right. I like this. And it continued into the second half, Gonzo. We made it 2-0 after just 5 minutes after the restart. And this time it was Michail Antonio getting on the score sheet.
Yeah, Fornals tried to play a through pass. It deflected. It actually caught the Derby player's heels, but it sort of deflected it into the path of Jarrod Bowen, who sort of took it well, ran down sort of inside right position, not quite the wing, but inside channel, let's put it that way. He tried to put the crossover, didn't quite work out, so that got a little deflection as well. But Antonio anticipated it really well in many respects, a mirror of what we saw previously when Antonio put a little deflected one over and Bowen put it in. Positioned himself really well, Antonio, and sort of headed it into an empty net because, of course, the goalkeeper had been distracted by moving over towards sort of where Bowen was. So, yeah, decent enough goal, mate. Decent enough goal.
Very composed, I think, and that's what we needed at times like this, where you're playing a League One side, and it can get a little bit scrappy. But in fairness, I didn't really feel like the game was like that. It wasn't like when we played Kidderminster a couple of years ago, when it was just scrappy from the first minute to the last. Derby did try and play football. They did get the ball down. They moved it quite well. They were causing us some problems down the wings. I thought in the first half anyway, I thought they were coming down the sides really well. Just that the crosses were particularly ineffective. I thought Ogbonna was marshalling Collins pretty well in there. But when you get moments like that, what Bowen had, you just need your good players just to step up a level and just say, we are the Premier League team here. And we're seeing that with the first goal. And I think you've seen it with the second one as well. That composure that Bowen had is something that none of the Derby players had. They got into good crossing opportunities, but the crosses weren't working out, whether it be the quality or they were just a little bit hurried and erratic. It took the deflection, but Antonio does really well to hold his line. You can see him, there's no VAR tonight, but you could argue that gives us an advantage to some sort, because it's a case of where Collins, you might think, twice he handballed there. I think the first one he was trying to get a penalty. The second one, I think he was maybe trying his luck a little bit. I'll get my hand on it and see what they do. Whereas our players, I think they're used to VAR. So Antonio was like, I've got to stay on the side, otherwise I'm going to get punished for it kind of thing. Holds his line really well, comfortable finish in the end. And from there on, it was just pretty, let's just be professional, see the game out, make no mistakes. I mean, arguably, we could have had a third Gonzo, really good play down the left-hand side with Emerson and Ben Rama, gave it to Jarrod Bowen. And I have to be honest with you, it was a bit of a poor finish. If that was the Premier League and it was 0-0, I'd be fuming with Bowen for missing that. And I think Moyes was fuming with Bowen for missing that.
Good. Well, it's good for Moyes to show that he can have a go at somebody else other than side Ben Rama, quite frankly. It was a lovely ball from Ben Rama, a little cute ball. He made an instant impact, but we were quite impotent on that left-hand side for up until Ben Rama came on. Although, Emerson had his moments, but I thought the combination of Emerson and Fornals down there was not overly productive. As soon as Ben Rama came on, we were then threatening down that side as well. So, I was really pleased to see it. But, delighted Bowen's in good form, actually. It's a real bonus for us for the remainder of the season.
What did you make of the game then? I mean, you're comfortable 2-0 in the end, and it's just what we needed, really.
Yeah, I don't think they were very good. You could tell they weren't, because the crowd were the crowd basically got to do every song. So it was a little bit of a tea party there for the team at the end. So the crowd were really enjoying themselves, really loud, totally out singing the Derby crowd as well. They got bigger fish to fry, Derby. They really do. But I just thought we were just. We were much better than them. They weren't particularly good, as you say. Can't remember the guy's name. outpaced Emerson a couple of times down the wing.
Mendes Ling, and then the right back was Corey Smith, who got forward on occasions.
They did relatively well there. But overall, well, are we going to talk about a Gerd again? Just going to start.
Yeah, he was class though, weren't he? He is just.
It's crazy. It's crazy. He looked like when you play out in the garden with your kids. Not now, actually, because my son's better than me at football. But when they're like that big, he looks like an international player playing against a League One team. Amazing. Just got everything. Reads the game so well. A bit of an Gerd loving. But you know what? If he'd only played like that against League One, then fair enough. It would say, hold on, it's just League One. He seems to play like that every time I see him play, be it in League One, Premier League, or in the World Cup. He's an outstanding player. Yeah,
but on the other side of our centre backs, we had a German international looking a bit ropey against the League One side. So it's sort of you can't. If you're going to criticise Kerr, you can praise a Gerd. If you do both, as long as you're fair, I think it's fine. And there is a disclaimer here, which is it was only Derby, it was only a League One side, and you can say that for everything, but we can only beat what's in front of us. We can only judge by what we've seen. I don't think any West Ham fans getting carried away off the back of winning 2-0 at Pride Park tonight. Nobody's sitting here. In fact, I say going on to win the competition. Nobody's sitting here going, I'll tell you what, we're going to go beat Newcastle now off the back of that. Nobody's doing that. Everybody's aware the situation we're in. We've not had that much things to shout about. And like I said, this game made me a little bit nervous. I'm pleased at how comfortable we made it look.
Yeah.
I'm pleased that we didn't need to call on some of the bigger players on the bench. Declan Rice, Paqueta, have the night off kind of thing. We were able to get the likes of Antonio and Jarrod Bowen off the pitch as well. Crucial minutes for some players that were desperately needing them. And by the end of the game, I don't think anybody had a poor game for West Ham. I think the two players I had concerns about at half-time, Gonzo and Fornals and Johnson, I thought they were much better in the second half. I thought Fornals was much better. Johnson got forward a lot more, and his deliveries weren't quite there. And in the Premier League, that's not good enough. You need your deliveries to be better. But I thought there was effort from everybody involved tonight. And it's another game where you're thinking, you get the feeling that the players are rolling their sleeves up thinking, right, this isn't good enough. We're going to have to sort something out here. And it was perfect. Moyes will be buzzing with that. And he should be, I think, because there was no silliness. There was no stupid mistakes. There was no flying into tackles unnecessarily or that. We kept that game's tempo right down. We kept it at a level that we needed it to do. And we got the job done. And in the end, it was basically a glorified friendly for us. But that's exactly what we needed tonight. Antonio and Bowen on the score sheet. Nice bit of confidence into them for going into the Premier League and stuff. Mubama got an adequate amount of minutes at the end there as well. Ben Rama come on and looked quite good. There's a lot of positives to take from tonight, and I don't really feel like there's too much negatives. The only negative is it was only Derby, but that can't be helped. That's the only thing that is the bad thing tonight, but that's irrelevant. It's insignificant. Like I said, does it change my opinion to what I think is going to happen on Saturday at Newcastle? No. I'm going to enjoy tonight. I did enjoy tonight. It was nice to sit back, enjoy watching us play football. The away fans were fantastic up there tonight as well. It was just a very pleasant evening to be a West Ham fan for a change. And listen, that'll change tomorrow. Deadline day, I'm sure that'll change.
I don't think you need to justify it, Geo, but I understand why you were. I've seen a couple of comments as well, and people trying to sort of drag people down. Oh, you don't get carried away, and enjoy it. Enjoy it. We've had a crap season. What last thing you need is when you're enjoying a victory, particularly is people trying to give you a reality check. And honestly, enjoy it. We'll deal with that.
I'll get grumpy again tomorrow when we don't sign
for sure. We definitely will. But enjoy the win. It is good. The young striker got on, as you said. It's good to see Jarrod again. It's good to see Bowen back in scoring form, and there's plenty to take from that. Yes, and you're right. Everybody knows that we're going to play Newcastle next, don't we? Just
individual performance.
So Ogbonna, well done again. Seems to like that central position of the three, and I like that. That's I'm quite hopeful, to be honest with you. I didn't think we'd see him, as you know, in the Premier League really this season. And then when I thought, actually, it looks like we will see him, it was a bit of okay, looks like we'll see him, a bit tentative and reluctant. I think, with the right players either side of him, and Jarrod is certainly one of them, I think he'll be all right there for a lot of the games in the Premier League, actually. So that was really good. I was really pleased to see him. Jarrod, I've already mentioned, obviously. I thought Flynn Downs played tremendously well. He did not win the ball early. That's a really good one. Always looking to pass very, very quickly as well. Just, more of the same for him. But I think primarily, I think Antonio was a real bonus tonight, because I think we've seen in the last couple of games, so the Everton game and then this, we've seen a slightly different Antonio. Now, I don't know if he's playing for the move or whatever. I don't know. Playing for the move, playing for the shirt. I don't care. I just want to make sure that if he stays, and I hope he will. If he's going to play like that, I hope he will. If he stays, then when the window shuts, he carries on in that form and carries on progressing like that, because he does look like a handful when he's like that, and there's a certain level of confidence. He'll always be. Look, he's not Ronaldinho, right? He didn't grow up,
I know. Did you not see that turn he did? He come down, he flicked it around him. Wow, that was Ronaldinho.
I know. And this is it. He didn't learn playing with a beach ball on a Copacabana beach. You know what I mean? But and he will often do these ridiculous things where he looks like he's gonna launch it at the moon. However, sometimes when he's on form, he can produce some really nice touches. The assist for the goal, he assisted the assister for the first goal was really nice as well. As you say, there was some lovely other bits of skill as well. He was rolling his defender well and stuff like that. A good striker's instinct, and obviously, he was playing well against Everton. So I was pleased to see that from him today, and I think pleased for Souček as well, actually, because that was a good battling performance from him, and with some nice touches in and around there. Of course, he got the assist as well. So yeah, some nice performances there.
We'll do your final words in a minute. But who's your man of match out of interest?
I'm not going to give it to a Gerd, although I feel I want to. But quite frankly, he can borrow the car if he wants. I don't mind it. You know what I mean? So I've got to sort of temper it a little. In fact, it's broken. It'll be no use to him. But I think I'm actually going to give it to Antonio in this. I thought he made a big difference today.
Yeah, there was a lot of effort from a lot of players tonight, which is pleasing. The attitude was right. And that's what was said before the game. But then you saw the starting 11. It was a case of if our attitude is right, we will win the game. And I thought the attitude was there from every single person involved. My man match is actually Thomas Souček. I think a bit quieter in the second half. And the first half I thought he was really, really good. And it was almost like 2021 Souček because, in my opinion, it's because he didn't have Declan Rice next to him. He had a defensive midfielder in Flynn Downs next to him, and the shackles was off Souček, and I thought we saw that. I mean, he had a big say in our opener when he went forward. He got involved in it. He did the header to Bowen, which he could have easily ended up with a boot in the face for it, and I thought he was really good. I thought his interceptions was good, his passing was good, his tackling was good. I thought he had a really good performance tonight with Flynn Downs next to him. And it's pleasing to see. And those two meant that we were able to give Rice and Paqueta the night off. They didn't have to come on. They didn't need to come on because them two were performing well in the middle of the pitch. And at times they were outnumbered in there. At times they were a little bit overran. But that's just down to numbers and tactics rather than them two. I thought the pair of them put in a real good performance. And we're going to need them. When we've got the Conference League coming back round at the start of March, we're going to need to be able to call on Souček and Downs quite often. And I thought it was quite a nice little partnership there. There's only so much you can take from it, given that they were playing Derby. But I thought Souček was really pleasing tonight, actually. I quite enjoyed watching Souček. And like I said, it was like watching old Thomas Souček. In the first half at one point, there was a loose ball that sort of went behind Derby's defence by 15 yards out for a throw inside the West Ham fans. And Fornals went and got it. And Souček just sprinted 40 yards just straight through the Derby defence into the corner. Now, Fornals didn't use him in the end because he didn't notice Souček was making the run. But I thought, bloody hell, what a nice... I was just pleased to see that attitude because if there was anyone in our team had given up with football in the last few months, it's probably Souček. But tonight I saw a bit of hunger from him, actually. And I quite liked it. Gerd was class. Ben Johnson, shaky first half, much better second half, but nothing to make me convinced that I want to see him at St. James's Park. And I agree with Antonio, put himself about. I said at half time, you could go make a highlights reel of Antonio tonight, make him look like a League One player. But you could also go put a highlights reel together, make him look like a Champions League player. Easily.
Yes,
you saw the good and the bad from Antonio tonight. But again, it was just attitude was right. It's important that them two, him and Bowen, got a goal because we need them on Saturday. We need them both on Saturday. Any final words from yourself, Gonzo?
Just enjoy it. Enjoy it. There's more serious stuff to come tomorrow. There's more serious stuff to come in the build up to the Newcastle game. So there's plenty of time for getting worried. But that was decent. There's a little feel-good factor around that. And I don't think it wasn't just... I think what you said about Souček was more old-style Souček today. I actually think we saw a bit of old-style Ogbonna. I think it was a bit of old-style Bowen and a bit of old-style Antonio as well. And that bodes pretty well.
And we had new Emerson. And the more I see Emerson in this left wing-back role, the more I like him. I don't think he was one of our better players. In all honesty, at times I was expecting a bit more from him. But I do think he was possibly hindered by playing Derby. I know it's difficult to explain, but there was one or two times when he got the ball in a good crossing position, but there was no one in the box. Antonio was the one that gave him the ball, and Emerson was like, hang on a minute. Then when Ben Rama come on, I thought they linked up quite well. I thought they were using the space well. Then obviously Emerson departed and Creswell come on, which nullified that partnership pretty quickly. But I quite like Emerson, actually. I quite like what I've seen from him in the last couple of games now in that left wing-back role.
Yeah.
And if anything else, I'll be honest with you, Gonzo, I was watching that game thinking, for the life of me, can we please get a right wing back tomorrow? Because if this is how we're going to play going forward, Jarrod's in a good position, Emerson's in a good position, Ben Rama can come on and play where Fernals was playing. We've got strikers, we've got Bowen in his best position, we've got Paqueta and Rice in the middle of the pitch. We've pretty much sorted 9 of our starting 11 for this formation. But that right wing back role is really going to bug me. And I just thought, I was watching it thinking, can we just find somebody that can play that role down that right? And then I was watching Ben Johnson in the second half trying to cross it. At one point he crossed it, came back at him, it crossed it again, it got clear. You've had 2 efforts at the same cross, and you still got it wrong. And he had the likes of Antonio buzzing around the box. He had his tail up, he wanted another goal, and I just thought, it's not going to get easier. Crossing is not going to get easier than it did tonight, and it just frustrated me a little bit. But yeah, listen, we've seen us get embarrassed in these games before. Tonight, very comfortable, very happy. But Grumpy Geo will return tomorrow, I'm sure, with the deadline day. So we'll wait and see. Shall we leave it there, my friend?
I think so, mate.
And as it's deadline day tomorrow, we are live at 9 p.m. with some special guests lined up. So if you fancy joining us, we're live between 9 and 11 p.m. 2-hour show tomorrow night. We'll bring you the latest as well. Tomorrow morning on the Forum channel, we'll be taking a look at all the latest West Ham transfer rumours. There's been quite a few of them as well. If you've enjoyed this review, please do drop a like, comment, subscribe to Hammers Chat. Myself and Gonzo. We'll see you tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Catch you then.